Welcome to this week's show. We're talking about video work today. And before we even recorded, I was talking about how Xayli's video looks so great and how I just changed back to my regular webcam. So you definitely need to go over to YouTube to watch this interview too, because I love how you're modeling what we're going to be talking about because you have high quality video. But I'm excited to welcome to the show today Xayli Barclay, and she's a video expert and really going to share with us today how to overcome maybe some of the fear around video work and what's the best ROI we can have as coaches utilizing video to support our brand and our business. So, welcome.
Welcome. Hey, Amanda. I'm so happy to be here. I'm saying welcome to the people that are listening. So,
Xayli and I met in a mutual mentorship
yes.
community, and we had the chance very little to interact. But you do have to head over to YouTube because she has such an amazing video presence, and immediately it drew me in. So I was like, "Oh, what does she do?" And then she started talking about I do video work. I was like, "Of course she does." And if you check her content out, because of course I started following her and love to kind of do a little background and get to know my people before I have them on the show. So I would love for you to just share a little bit of background. How did you end up here? How did you get into video?
Yeah,
Tell us about your passion for helping people with video.
of course. Oh my gosh. I started years ago. So, I've been in this space for almost a decade now. And when I first started, I was a beauty blogger in the online space. And so I was blogging about my life and, beauty and my clothing and fashion and all of those things. This was like maybe like 2007. So I started there. And in blogging and I created a YouTube channel and I put up one video and I was like, what the heck am I doing? And I took it down. And now I'm like, damn, I should have stuck to it, right?
Everybody's
So
nodding right now because everybody's done
I'm
that.
sure everyone has been there. And so I put out that video and I took it down. And years later, I decided to start again. So I started YouTube again and I started with talking about my hair, the same thing I wanted to talk about years before. And I started gaining traction on YouTube. YouTube invited me to Washington, D.C. I was living in New York City at this time because they were interested in like the growth of my channel and, what am I doing and things like that. And I was still so gung ho on beauty, but I was not making any money from it.
Mm.
That for me, I was like, girl, if you really want to run a business and you want to be an entrepreneur, my dad has been an entrepreneur all my life almost. And so, I always wanted to be like him. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to work for myself. And I'm like, you have something here, but the money isn't coming in. And I remember
Mhm.
sending in a proposal for a sponsorship. Someone asked me to review something for them. And they responded to me and they laughed and said,
Mm.
do you think you're gonna get this? And I was like, all right, bet. Now in that time, people were reaching out all the time, like, please tell me about your videos. How are you, using video and you've built this brand and all of that stuff. And this is just to tell you that influencers that you see in the online space, they might be out there killing it with audience and all of this, but it's really hard to live off of only sponsorships or one stream of income. And I bring that into what I teach today, right? But we'll talk about that in a little bit. But essentially, going through that journey allowed me to start answering questions for people. And I realized that I had something really special just throughout even my beauty journey about encouraging people and giving them the confidence that they needed. So everything led back to me encouraging and giving people the confidence to show up. But then I turned that into the confidence to show up on camera. And so I shifted my business. It was really scary for me to stop talking about beauty because I felt like I have all this audience and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. So it was a huge pivot. And, I started there and brands in the software space started picking up my story. So I still was able to satisfy the influencer aspect of what I did because I
Mhm.
started partnering with software companies and sharing my journey with their products, which brought me huge partnerships. I've been able to change my entire life. I now live in Dallas, Texas. I was just telling Amanda that. But just helping people to themselves get on camera. Then that turned into monetizing on camera, selling on camera. And I just took it in strides. And as I learned, I taught, and I've been able to build a business that I'm really proud of. So,
I'm
in a
so
nutshell,
amazing.
Amanda.
I know. I was like, "Can you briefly tell us about yourself?" And like, is there ever a brief about anybody's life? But not really, but I know that you pick the parts that feel most relevant right now, and I think a lot of your story resonates with our audience too. I mean, I definitely resonate because I made a huge shift in
Mm,
my brand from health and nutrition to exclusively helping
yes.
coaches. So I know what it's like to feel like, in some ways, you're starting over, but the
Yeah,
reality is we're bringing with us this amazing skill set. It's just the
exactly.
audience has shifted too.
Yes.
Um, so I know that my people listening are definitely curious about a few things. I think the first thing I'd love to dive into is there's a lot of resistance, especially with coaches, because they feel like I don't want to be the talking face. I'm here to serve people. I don't feel like I'm ready to talk on camera. So I'm wondering, like, what's your advice around that?
My advice is you'll never be ready. When Amanda was introducing me here, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be on camera. I always get nervous before I go on, but it's also excitement of like, how's this conversation gonna go? Like, I admire Amanda so much. Like she said, we're in a mentorship together, and I hear my Trinidadian accent coming out. It's in there somewhere. I'm originally from Trinidad, but and that pops up also. Like, there are so many aspects of yourself that you're putting out when you are going to get on camera, and I would say it never goes away. And one thing that affirmed that, there was a reporter speaking some time ago, and he was saying, he's been in it for years. I can't remember who it was, but he was saying that every time he's done whatever program it is for like 10 years plus, and he still feels like he's going to pass out on camera till now. So it's something that I've learned to embrace, but I always shift from thinking about myself, and I shift into service mode. How can I serve the people that are listening? How can I serve the people that are watching? I'm here to change lives. And so if I'm not showing up for that, then I'm going to go to bed every night and I'm going to feel like I'm not operating in my purpose, in my true purpose. I know what I'm supposed to be doing and I know what gives results. And so for me, I know that I need to put myself on camera, and there's no real way around it, honestly.
Yeah, it's so good. I think it's so much of just what you said is about business in general, right? From
Yeah.
selling on a webinar, right? Because that's another struggle that many have that you and I both do,
Yeah.
consistently as well. And if we're worried about the pitch, it's because we're worried about ourselves and
Yes.
not seeing this crowd of like people jumping up and down, like,
Yeah.
yay, tell me what you're doing, tell me what
Exactly.
you're doing, right? So it is making it not about us, but making it
Yes.
about them. I love that. And from like a tangible standpoint, I'd love for you to just, I think a lot of times, especially if our coaches are newer or they're new to video work, I should say, it's very easy to look around and see these beautifully curated reels of high quality
Yeah.
video. Where do we start? Like, what tangibly, maybe you can speak some hope into
Yeah.
our people around starting, and where's a great place?
Listen, I have been in this industry for years and I've seen it shift and change. And honestly, I will say that I've seen it shift and change for the better. Now, there are pros out there that will argue with me, like, Xayli, no, they ruined the industry. No, now we can use our phones. We can use, like, we don't have to do high quality. Now, it will help you stand apart or set you apart from everyone else, but it's not required to start off. Like, I know people that are still using their phones and they're completely killing it. I would say first think about your persona, like you getting on camera, because I can get on camera with my phone and my energy is still the same. So it's nothing to do with the tech or the things that you're using, especially if you're starting out. Don't if you can't show up in 4K, if you can't show up on your phone, you're not going to show up in 4K. I've had people that have worked with me and bought $10,000 worth of equipment and didn't do anything with it.
Ugh, I can see that. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like investing in coaching programs and still not getting out of your own
Yes.
way.
It's out there. Exactly. It's out there that people are doing that. So I never want you to feel like there are things, if you can't, just as you are right now. I'm not saying if you're laying in bed and you're listening to this podcast and you haven't, gotten up and brushed your teeth or anything yet, but as you are in your most comfortable to you state, you should be able to get on camera and share. A lot of us are just really focused on perception and how people are going to perceive us. And me having a higher quality set doesn't mean that the person next to me with a phone and passion and energy for what they do in their audience isn't going to garner more results than me. So,
Yeah.
yes.
I totally agree, and then I think, like, as you're talking, I'm also thinking about people that I engage with content with, and it's often not the high quality set, as you said, it's the
Exactly.
fumbles, and as we started recording, I was like, "If a dog barks or you cough or something, like, we're here for it," and it was
Exactly.
kinda like this pressure of like, "Oh, yeah, good, we can just be ourselves," right? And
Yes,
I think the world wants that, right? Because we've been
we
in front of
do.
perfectly curated stuff for long
Yes.
enough. Do you
I
find that or
agree.
Mhm.
Yes. The thing is, years ago, to do what we are doing today effortlessly, like with a click and internet connection, people were doing this with, full on productions and things like that. So it's only the richest of the rich that could have afforded to do webinars and to do workshops and to record things and sell and put out there. But now we have all this access. And I think it's so important for us to, first of all, honor that access. Like, wow, like we're able to change our own lives and change the lives of others just with a few clicks and a few tools. So now we're so stuck in that phase of things where things were perfect that we forget. I want to buy from the person that is like, oh my gosh, I can see her mistakes, I can see where she faltered, but I can also see where she won. You
Mhm.
know, I,
Yeah.
that's the people I buy from. I don't want to buy from someone perfect because where are your mistakes? What have you learned? Where are your lessons? Will you be able to relate to me and the problems that I have? Will you be able to solve this one little problem that I've been having?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
no, I totally agree, so let's talk video. So I have 2 questions, why video and then why YouTube? So let's start with video. So
yeah.
why do you think video is so powerful?
I feel like, well, I know video is powerful. I mean, we see it every day. Of course, we're upset at the, 16-year-olds who are millionaires now because they put themselves on camera, but also they put themselves out there. Video is one of um, the highest levels of energy that you can put out. Right. And
Mhm.
so the reward is obviously going to be higher. So it depends on you and what you want for your business and what you want for your life. If you want ROI, like, listen, I put my work in here and I'm looking for XYZ out, get on camera. The other thing is the nurture is so much faster, right? Like, we can see someone and we can read their words and all of that. Like y'all know I love Canva, but the Canva graphics, y'all,
Oh,
like y'all gotta stop hiding behind Canva graphics, okay? They're amazing, but you can't, like, if I see someone with only Canva graphics and I'm not seeing, as humans, we want to connect innately. And so video is the easiest way to do that. That is not in person, basically.
yeah.
We want to see things. We want to, like, what does that material feel like? Like, I can't feel it. You're all the way across the globe. So show me like your thoughts and your expressions when you're touching this fabric of this dress that you're selling, or, it's so powerful. And so because there's that translation of emotions and, I can experience someone in that way, it works. Think about if you have ever sat in a room or on a conference or something, and you felt chills based on what a speaker said. That transfer of emotion is so powerful.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
I think you just said something that's really gave me a really good visual. I was thinking, like, it is so much easier to just type a Canva graphic energetically and
Yes.
then putting yourself on video. And
Yeah.
so the ROI, right? The energy I put into a Canva graphic versus a video, then that comes back tenfold. And that really
Yes.
just hit me. And I think that's a very tangible way to look. Like if it's easier for you to do it, then the rate of return is probably going to be a bit lower as well.
Literally.
Yep.
Yes.
So then obviously you're a lover of YouTube. Tell me why you think
Yeah.
YouTube is so powerful.
I just think that there are always people searching for solutions online, and when I started putting content out there, I don't have a large audience, and I've been able to do so much with a small audience. And so it's because I'm always positioning myself as the solution. So I'm able to put out content on YouTube, and I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a business owner with a YouTube channel. So if I'm putting out solutions out there and people are finding it, I can start garnering my own audience, and then I can act like a YouTuber every once in a while to just show up and encourage and build community. But people are coming to you for solutions as a business owner, and I think that is something that is so important to remember. Of course, there's YouTube being owned by Google. So you search something and you see a few texts, but a video will come up on that front page as well. And I know I've showed up for so many people as the answer on that front page. And then you get to choose between the people that just want to read a blog post, or they want to go watch the video, right? And so we're in such a video centric time or season that people are choosing video, whether it's short form or long form. So I love YouTube
Yeah.
for its search power and the power to nurture as well.
And I like the reframe you just said. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a business owner with a YouTube channel because I do think that's a barrier for some, especially because I think of my ideal audience is women pretty much, between the age of 30 to 60. And so they don't connect with YouTubers. And I think they have this false identity of
Of
what
course.
YouTubers are. And so that's a powerful reframe, for them as well, listening like, oh, YouTube
Yes,
is feasible for me when I think of it in appropriate
definitely.
context.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think we forget that, YouTube is so powerful for search. It's just like Pinterest, those are the two social platforms that are search engines. And so as a business owner, I'm looking for giving answers so that people can look at me as a thought leader, an expert, someone that they want to work with in this space. And so I'm able to use YouTube in that way strategically. And I think it's absolutely amazing. And it's
Yeah.
free. Hello.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
then they
I'm
start
here
to
for
pay you
free.
after a while.
Hey.
I'm not mad at that.
No, not at all. So, can we move into just strategy on camera? And I know that you have resources, and I'm going to let you talk about those shortly. But I'd love to give some tangible, if I'm just starting out or, I'm a beginner when it comes to video, what are some things we can do to just elevate our on camera strategy or marketing, whatever you feel like you want to share
Yeah,
today?
of course. One thing that I do want to focus on this year, so I haven't shared it anywhere yet, but I just feel called to share it, is a lot of people don't understand their unique value, like what is different about you. And so when we think about content, a lot of times we're like, three things that, like we're thinking on such a basic level that we're forgetting about the ability to use our experience, losses, wins, things that we've been through, things that are unique about you and how you work with your, students or your customers, and bringing that into what you share in the online space. And that in itself, understanding yourself and understanding the difference that you bring into your content, especially when it comes to your marketing. I think it's
Yeah.
really important that we understand just who we are uniquely and how that is going to impact the people that we work with. And also, like putting yourself in their shoes, like what were you experiencing at a specific time, along your client's customer journey. I think that's so powerful, especially in this time. We're seeing storytelling being a key thing. And everyone tells me, Zayli, my life is boring. No, it's not. You can make it interesting. Okay. It takes a little bit of understanding and perspective to connect your experience to your customer's experience, but doing that with video is so powerful. So that's definitely one of the things that I would say, dig deeper into. The other thing that I would say is your
Hold on, before you go
energy.
into that one, like, I don't wanna glaze
Okay.
over what you just said, so
Okay.
hold on to
Okay.
that because you said something so good, is the unique value piece, and I'm
Yes.
putting myself into people listening right now, and they're like, "Yeah, great, Zaylee, unique value, but how do I find my unique value?"
Mm,
So, how without obviously, I know that's probably a longer conversation than what we have
yeah.
today, but, are we talking unique value aesthetically? Are we talking zone of genius? Like, tell me more
Yeah.
about what unique value is.
It's such a good question. And it's all round, right? So the one thing that I like to say is the worst thing for me is if I don't speak about like my relationship with God on the outside, and then you buy into my program and I'm speaking about God all the time, and you're like, well, girl, like
I wasn't
this is
ready
not
for
the
this.
right. This is not what I bought. This is not the same person. So I say that to say all round. There are different aspects of your life that are completely unique to you, and that is different from what everyone else is doing. For example, luckily, I shared a bit of my story along the way. So I started in beauty, right? And then I moved into the online coaching space. I started teaching about video, talking about video. And so for me, my unique journey has been beauty. So I can bring that into when I'm coaching someone like, hey, like let's get this together, or let's get that together, or I love like home decor and things like that. Let's move that from your background because it's a bit distracting. Now that's my journey. You might meet someone else. You might meet a video coach on YouTube, who is a gamer, and so that's his unique experience. It's completely different. Our sets are going to be different. The way that we communicate. I'm a woman through and through. So, I'm going to talk
Yeah.
about things that, women care about. Like the men will tell you, oh, just hit record. Whoa, 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 sir. It's not like that for us girlies. Like,
Yeah. Do I wear makeup? Do I not? Should my hair be up? Should my hair be down? Glasses? No glasses? Right? All those things.
exactly. Like, these are the things that can impact like the people that you like. I've been observing myself lately and finding that the things people talk about outside of their exact expertise makes me want to buy from them even more because I feel relatability there. Like, oh wow, oh, like you do that too. Like last night I put on threads like, do you eat anyone else like feeling the call for a late night snack? It's 8:22 in Dallas. Like, where are you? And and the conversations were insane. Like just things like that. It humanizes us.
Yes,
But it
I
was
love that.
my unique little experience. It was 8:22 in Dallas, and I'm like, is anybody else feeling snackish? We know we're not supposed to be snacking at this time. I've been good all day, and now I want to be bad. I need some help here. you
Yeah.
know.
It's so
So
it's so good. I wanted to pause there just because I got stuck in that for so long, especially I thought a
mm,
lot of the my unique value was irrelevant to the larger purpose of
yes,
business for a while, right?
I
I
can
was
see
a
that.
teacher
Yeah.
for 10 years. I'm a mom, right?
Look
I was a
at that.
CrossFit coach. I'm obsessed with health and fitness, right? Like
Yes.
those pieces are important because what it does, to your point, is it brings you
Yes.
magical clients that are going to be a great fit for you. And so if you're listening to this, I just want you to really think about this isn't like don't overcomplicate it. It's just like look at your life and what are some of the things that you've
Yes.
have you run Ironmans, right? Or participated in
Exactly.
Ironmans? Like, do you love to cook from scratch? Right? All
Yeah.
those things that they are important. And I find that those places are actually great to go into coaching a little bit. Metaphors are so powerful for coaching. And when we can
Mm.
bring those in, they make us even more relatable. So I just wanted to like double down on what you said. I think it's really
Yes, I agree. Like even for me looking at you and your content, me seeing you lifting and stuff made me love you even more. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Like, like
oh
it
God.
just solidified like things like that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I love that you shared that. That is so powerful because a lot of us do think that I'm not an influencer, so I'm not going to share anything outside of, what I'm supposed to be
Yeah,
here
the
talking about.
box. Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Okay, now we can go into the next one. Hopefully, you haven't forgot it.
Ooh, I forgot, Amanda.
Okay, well, we'll come back. My prompting question, so I'll reprompt you is okay, so what is more video strategy? If we're starting from scratch,
Mm.
maybe we can go into tangibles. So that is like high level introspective. What's a next step to take just to improve our on camera strategy?
Yeah, it's really connected. Really understand your audience, understand your customer journey. Think about one thing that I used to do in the beginning of my journey that really created a solid foundation for me. Questions that I get over and over, let me get on YouTube and create a video about it so that even if the search engine is not picking it up, I can send it to people every time they have the question. I
Genius.
could put it in a blog post. That's going to drive traffic too. I think people only think about the external ways to use video. I can send it to my email list. There's so much that you can do with video that is so different from everything else. You can repurpose it and turn it into shorts. Like there's so many ways, and that's why, video's legs are so long. There's so many different things that you can essentially do with it. So really understanding like who you're speaking to, understanding their struggles, what they ask you the most, like, gosh, I'm tired of answering this question. Make a video about it.
Yes, that's so good. And I mean, and you can use that for even prospective customers. But I found because we just have been redoing all the video content inside of our programs is pulling in the podcast episodes because my podcast
Yes.
episodes, right? And even though we don't do super high quality video, we do repurpose them, but it is like answering those most frequent questions and you
Yes.
can bring those into your existing clients too. So it's not, it serves both.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that you said that. That is also genius. And we all know that YouTube is prioritizing podcasting. So,
I love that.
hey.
Wow, you're such a wealth of info. I would love for you to share. I'm so grateful just to like take some of the fear out of the video work and the value and make it less complicated. But I know you obviously coach on video. You have an amazing YouTube channel, which will be linked here.
Thank
Everything that
you.
Zaylee's talked about will be linked. But tell us where we can connect with you and go deeper to learn more about video with you.
Yeah, you can connect with me at Xayli Barclay on Instagram. I feel like that's the platform that I'm on, like me personally, the most. We do upload to YouTube. YouTube is my power platform. It's where people find me and then they make the beeline. So you can find me on YouTube at Xayli Barclay as well. And yeah, we can go from there. Feel free to jump into my DMs. I love connecting with people in there.
I love it. And just if you're like me, when you see Zaylee's name, you might be inclined to not say it appropriately, but I learned for the first time. So just to spell, it's Xayli.
Yes.
Phonetically, it sounds different, and that'll all be in our show notes as well. Zaylee, thanks for hanging with us today and
Thank
looking great,
you.
sounding great, giving us all the good information. I'm super grateful for you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you.
Of course.